Hey, it's Mark Allen here, still in the comic room, still organizing. It's just going to take a while because you have to take all the stuff you've bought, it's in this box down here that you can't see, and integrate it into these boxes that you have alphabetized, which are now at 5 short boxes, and then integrate it all into the main collection. Okay, and so that's just taking some time as I have to do it on my free time, and I am a working man. But as I'm going through the comics, it's interesting the things you find when you go through your comics. So you all know that you have boxes that gather dust, and they just sit there for a while. Now, a couple of these you will have seen before, but as I'm going through, it's just interesting the weird comics you'll find in your collection. And a couple of these, all of these that I'm about to show are independent comics. This first one I bought simply out of the dollar box because the cover caught my eye. It is Karate Creatures. Obviously, a nod to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, inspired by that property. It is an A&M Comics Premier Edition. I'm not sure when it was published, but we'll find out very quickly here. And it was published in 1989 by Michael De Pascal. Michael De Pascal. And so, Karate Creatures, great looking cover there. Haven't read the book, but I'm sure it's entertaining in its way. But this one is worth it just for the cover. When I saw this indie comic with this wonderful Rich Buckler cover, again, a comic that I've read, but it didn't stick with me. But it's worth it just for the cover and the title and the art on the cover. It is a showcase publication comic, Crackbusters. And there you go. You see the two Crackbusters in black, taking down the crack dealers. Just great stuff. Like I said, wonderful Rich Buckler cover. I mean, love Rich Buckler's work, love his art, and of course he's done a lot of indie stuff in his career, as you well know, most likely, or at least some of you do. And let's get a peek at the publication date on this, and it is November 1986. So I was thrilled by the cover and really liked the look of it. Now, in black and white inside, does that not the guy sitting at the desk smoking a cigar? Tell me that doesn't look like Henry Winkler. I think he put Henry Winkler, the Fonz, there in that story. But anyway, maybe it's just me. But anyway, Crackbusters, circa 1986. Cover by Rich Buckler. Just worth it for the cover. You find it in the dollar box. I was kind of sad that it had so many ticks in the spine, but because a lot of times you can find these indies in really nice shape. I won't say that I believe that's because nobody bought them, but who knows. I also found this. Now, this is worth having. This is a wonderful reprint comic. If any of you are familiar with Mark Schultz, you know his wonderful Golden Age style art, inspired by the likes of Wally Wood and Frank Frazetta, and his property, Xenozoic Tales. If you've never read those, go out and find them. But Cadillacs and Dinosaurs were the reprints of those tales by Kitchen Sink Comics. And so those were great reprints, and they did original covers for those. They weren't reprint covers. Cadillacs and Dinosaurs. I mean, how can you go wrong with nice classic old cars and dinosaurs in the same world, okay? Now, these next few things I found are connected to my days writing for Suspended Animation with Michael Vance. And the first one is this book right here. Wonderful, fun book called Complex City. Now, Complex City is about a dog cop called Bulldog Malone. And he is a cop, and he's a hero, and it's just got a lot of great characters in there, and fun read, black and white comic. And the neat thing about this one is I got it signed by the creator of Complex City, J.E. Smith, and this was sent to me as a reviewer, but he signed it for me and just kind of marked best wishes, J.E. Smith. Really neat stuff there. And so anyway, that's a neat comic. If you can chase that down, find that. That was printed in March 2003. I would suggest it. It's a fun book. Lastly, got a few volumes here of something called Foot Soldiers. If you've never heard of Foot Soldiers, it is a property first done by Jim Kruger, Mike Oeming, Phil Hester, and the like, and some of Hester's early work. But I loved this book. I got the singles when they first came out. I read those, and this was an AIT Planet LAR project, but I've read those and I liked it so much I got the trades. That was back in the day when I was getting rid of all my singles like a lot of people did for a while and just buying trade paperbacks. But and now I like both. But anyway, what was neat about this book is the first couple of pages would be about all the great reviews. Lots of people loved this property, loved foot soldiers. Well, I crack open the second one, get home from my comic shop, crack open the second one in 2001, and I look at the reviews, and lo and behold, what I find is reviews by guys like Frank Miller and well, not Stanley wasn't in this one, but Frank Miller, Ed McGuinness, Mark Grunwald, Mark Millar, Walt Simonson, and right in there between them is a guy named Mark Allen. Mark Allen, who Starland, it says. Now, I wasn't with Starland, but our syndicated column went to Starland. Starland Comic, or Starland, the website was a sci-fi comics website based out of Denver, Colorado. Ran for a long time. I think it's still up, but it ran the column for a long time. We always appreciate them for that. But that was just neat to see my review in there alongside some of the comic greats. And so anyway, that made me feel good as a reviewer. But I thought I'd just share that with you. And you never know what kind of cool things might come out of those boxes that you haven't opened for a long time when you're organizing your comics. Anyway, back to organizing, and we'll see you next video.